guys, back again with another video. Today I wanted to rank the Star Wars films made by George Lucas in order based on which ones I like most. So starting off with number 6, I'd say my least favorite of the 6 films is gonna be a tie between episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Let's just say to make it easier, episode 2 is my least favorite. Mostly because of the dialogue. I mean, I love the story and I love the prequels. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a prequel kid. I mean, I grew up watching them. But from an objective standpoint, it's just the weaker of the films. You know, the dialogue's all over the place. There really isn't a linear storyline. It's just, you know, these things happen and it leads to this and it leads to this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it and it's an enjoyable movie. But as I said before, you know, based on an objective opinion, it's probably the weaker of the 6. Going to number 5 would be Phantom Menace. Mostly for the same reasons. The dialogue is pretty crude, but at least this one follows a pretty consistent storyline. Some of the aspects that make it better than Attack of the Clones, in my opinion, are Qui-Gon Jinn, Darth Maul. We see Darth Sidious in the early stages of, you know, by then, I mean, nobody knew that was going to be the Emperor. But we see Darth Sidious, you know, pulling the strings early on in the saga. And I just think it's a more solid film than Attack of the Clones. Number 4, my 4th favorite, is probably Star Wars or A New Hope. This, in my opinion, out of the original trilogy, is the only one that you could look at as a standalone because, I mean, originally Lucas never thought he was going to be able to make the other films. So yeah, you could look at it as an open and closed book. It in itself is, you know, start to finish, it could be the only one you watch and it's smooth. The reason it's behind, you know, Empire and Return of the Jedi are, I mean, obvious. It's up there ahead of The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. Number 3 favorite Star Wars film is probably, this is going to be controversial, but it's probably going to be The Empire Strikes Back, only because I have others that are above it. Being as Irving Kershner directed it, and it is so much different in the way it feels compared to the other 2 of the original trilogy. Yeah, it's an objectively better movie, but you know, this is opinion based. I mean, I love it. I would say it's most people's favorite, but there are a couple, I mean, we only got 2 left, but there are a couple that outrank it. So my number 2 favorite Star Wars film is gonna be Return of the Jedi. And I know some people would say, what the hell? You like that better than Empire? But for me personally, what makes that movie so great is the final act, you know? Luke aboard the second Death Star, confronting the Emperor, confronting Vader, you know, him standing his ground against the Emperor and refusing to give in to his hate and kill his father and take his father's place. That to me is the culmination of everything. That to me is the most beautiful part of Star Wars. You know, that is what makes Star Wars what it is. So I could do without the Ewoks. I could do without the re-release Cantina, you know, music scene. I could do without a lot. But for me, that final act between Luke, Vader, and the Emperor takes the cake. You know what I mean? It's great. And you already know number 1 is going to be Revenge of the Sith. This was the first one that I was old enough to witness coming out in theaters. So I would have been 8 years old when it came out. And I remember I had no idea that Anakin Skywalker was Darth Vader. And of course I grew up watching Attack of the Clones, which came out in 2002. So for a couple years, you know, I wasn't super into it, but I was a kid. But I remember I liked Anakin's character. And I remember upon finding out what happened to him and what he became, it just messed me up so bad. And I was shook. But aside from that, I mean, objectively, this is the best of the prequel films. This is a solid movie. You know, it is the point in the timeline in which everything changes. You know, everything goes from, I wouldn't say good, you know, everything goes from light to dark, essentially. You know, the Jedi Order falls, the Emperor rises to power, everything terrible happens in this film. And it's just so much Anakin's movie that, like, the first and second prequel movies don't really feel like his movie. Yeah, the second one's kind of like the romance building movie where we see, you know, the relationship between Anakin and Padme build, which kind of feels forced, but I love Natalie Portman and I love her role, don't get me wrong. But anyway, this one feels very much like his film, you know, and everybody wants to talk, you know, bad on Hayden Christensen's acting, but in Revenge of the Sith, he nails it. I mean, every scene in which he has to display emotion and he has to, you know, even his facial features, his expressions convey so much emotion as to how he's feeling. And yeah, the dialogue is what held him back, but I don't think that should be the deciding factor in what makes an actor good or bad, you know? I think he did a phenomenal job. And, you know, to this day, I think that's just like cream of the crop for me. So anyway, guys, comment your opinions. You know, let me know what your favorite film is. I didn't include the sequel trilogy because, I mean, sorry to disappoint. I don't look at it as canon. It doesn't exist in my head, you know, in this realm of things that matter. If you like it, cool. I wish I did. I just can't get on board with it. But anyway, comment and let me know your favorite Star Wars films, what you think about my ranking of the films. And if you haven't, like and subscribe, share this video. You know, my goal is to get to 100 subscribers by the New Year's. So it's almost October, so we've got October, November, December, you know, 3 months or so. And I'd like to have 100 subscribers by 2024. So like, subscribe, share. I appreciate you guys watching. Check out the next video. See ya.